Hello. This is my creative act for February 7th, um, which is sitting next to my son's truck, which we're in the middle of working on, and I wanted to discuss two creative acts or two elements of creativity here. One is just the creativity that it takes to troubleshoot working on cars and old cars with like getting like probably the hardest thing that I deal with working on old cars is breaking off and loosening bolts and loosening things without breaking them, doing that slowly and like methodically when things are all rusty. So that takes a lot of creativity, it takes a lot of patience. And so I think maybe working on old vehicles takes patience. I want to speak to that. And there's certain types of creativity that take more patience than others. And maybe I think when I'm learning about routines, a lot of people's routines, there's not a whole lot of creativity per se in it. But they leave space for creativity. And so I don't want to drift. So this wheel is almost totally apart, and we are replacing this rotor and then all the brakes and trying to get him back on the road. But what I wanted to speak to in a different sense of creativity, a more vulnerable sense. Maybe I should have started here with the big hook. If you made it, is that I identify working on cars with a lot of stress because my dad worked on cars. He was very good. He was a good mechanic, and he would like raced cars when he was growing up and wanted to race cars. Throughout much of his adulthood, I think. But when he passed, I was 15, so this was right before I started driving, and I'm able to afford older cars, with whatever money I'm making, and so anytime I'm under the hood or under a car, I would feel really alone, extremely alone. It would be it's just some of the worst feelings is trying to fix a car, stressed out, trying to get your wheels back on the road, and feel like if I just had this peace, I wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't be poor, as poor as I am, so I wouldn't be driving an old vehicle, and then I wouldn't be working on it by myself. So when I'm approaching a vehicle, a lot of times I feel a lot in my body. I feel a lot of tension in my body. I have a lot of storytelling about it. And my son has dragged us through a few vehicles in the past few years. So it can reinforce itself, right? So creativity is, I think maybe today creativity is looking at how creative the mind is in its storytelling and how much it wants to reinforce certain stories of discomfort, stories of pain. It's not that it wants to, it just has a habit of, I don't think it wants to, but it has a habit of identifying with pain and then maybe repeating it. So being creative might be stepping back from the creativity of the mind and the imagination and the storytelling that's always going on. And just that's why maybe breathing is so helpful. I'm looking out at the trees right now, and I'm under a car, and I can't say that life is without stress. It has a lot of things that are changing, stressing right now for me, but I think I think that when I can step back and breathe and observe whatever's going on, whatever I'm feeling in my body, with a little less storytelling and a little more curiosity. Curiosity is such a good word. It's such a good word. So, curiosity, kindness, gentleness. I want that to be like what comes out of my life, and not just on freaking videos. Ugh. Not just to like people that are not in my immediate family. I want it to be like I want it to matter. So let's let go of storytelling today, Philip, and appreciate what's in front of you. My hands are a little dirty. All right, have a great day. Creativity. So wrapping up creativity with the car, and wrapping up the creativity to just recognize that the mind is always telling stories. It's always creating. It's always telling stories. And if I can rest and set back from those stories, observe what's going on in nature. I've got squirrels all over the place all the time, and I want to appreciate them. I make fun of that double rainbow guy from years ago, or I have, but he's great, man. We should be appreciating what's in front of us. So I want to be that squirrel guy. Squirrels, man. Squirrels, man. Squirrels.